Hi guys, welcome sa week 4 ng Fundamentals of Markmanship. At bago tayo magsimula, gusto ko lang ulit sabihin or ipaalala ng pagkuha ng module at pagpasa ng mga activities ay tuwing Thursday at saka Friday lang. Okay, so yung Monday at saka Wednesday, yun din yung time namin para gumawa ng mga presentations at saka mga videos o supplemental videos na para din sa inyo. Okay, so maliwanag yun. Ngayon, ang topic natin is about Philippine laws on firearms, ownership and possession, or manners of carrying firearms. Yan. So, bago yan, gusto ko lang ibasa yung some definition of terms na nandito. Okay? Una, firearms as defined include rifles, muskets, carbines, shotguns, revolvers, pistols, and all other deadly weapon from which bullet, ball, shoot, shell, or other missiles may be discharged by means of gunpowder or other explosive. The term also includes air rifles and pistols not classified as toys under the provision of Executive Order number 712. So yung mga air gun, mga airsoft, those are not classified as toys. They are classified as firearm kasi medyo mga airsoft at saka yung air gun, mga yan, nakakasakit din siya. Okay? The barrel of any firearm shall be considered a complete firearm. Yan. Pag yun nga the barrel of any firearm shall be considered a complete firearm. Next is the ammunition. Ammunition refers to the loaded shell for firearm from which a bullet, ball, shoot or shot, shell or other missiles may be fired by means of gunpowder or explosive. So yan yung ammunition. Basta mayroon siyang bullet, ball, or shoot, shell, or other missile by means of gunpowder or explosive, that is ammunition. Then the license to possess firearm and ammunition is a written document issued by the Firearm and Explosive Division of the Philippine National Police, authorizing a person to possess in his residence a firearm which is subject of said license and an authorized quantity of ammunition. So sa paggamit o paghawak ng firearm and ammunition ay meron siyang lisensya. Okay? So remember that kapag pag walang lisensya yung firearm mo, that is illegal. Okay? So pwede kang makasuhan o kaya pwede kang mahuli. Okay? Lalo na pag ginamit mo yun sa crime. Then residence refers to that place where the firearm and ammunition are being permanently kept. It includes the office or house designated as firearm residence and the premises of the said office or house enclosed by walls and gates separating the same from adjacent properties. So ito, note that a motor vehicle is not an extension of the firearm residence. Baka isipin nyo na pag may sasakyan kayo, yan, ay considered na extension yun ng firearm residence. No. Ang ano lang, ang pwede ay yung sa bahay at sa opisina. Enclosed with walls and gates. Yan. Kung example, pag lumabas ka sa bahay nyo, sumakay ka sa sasakyan, ibig sabihin, dala mo yung baril mo, may lisensya nga, pero nandun ka lang sa sasakyan, hindi yun considered na pag ginamit mo yun, kumbaga, kasi yung lisensya, yung to carry, doon lang sa license to keep the firearm ay doon lang sa bahay at saka sa opisina. Okay, basta may wall, may gate, yun lang yung coverage ng paghawak mo ng firearm. Pero may mga iba rin na license to carry. Yung ano nila, license to carry firearm. Kaya kahit nasaan sila, yan ay dala-dala nila yung firearm nila. Okay? So according to Presidential Decree number 1866 as amended by Republic Act 8294, Section 1, it is unlawful to manufacture, sell, acquire, dispose, or possess firearm, ammunition, or instrument used or intended to be used in the manufacture of firearm and or ammunition. So bawal daw yung mag-manufacture, pagbenta, yan, dispose, acquire, or dispose or possess firearm and ammunition. Yan. That is unlawful. Diba? Section 3, it is unlawful to tamper the serial numbers of a firearm. The penalty of 4 years imprisonment shall be imposed upon any persons who shall unlawfully tamper, change, deface, or erase the serial number of any firearm. So, kailan nangyayari o paano nangyayari na tinatamper nila yung serial number ng firearm? Okay? Lalo na yung mga loose firearm na tinatawag, yung mga firearm ng mga sundalo kaya ng pulis na ninakaw. Tinatamper nila yon para hindi makilala. Ganon din sa example sa pagkarnap ng mga sasakyan. May mga serial number o yung engine number at saka body number. Tinatamper rin nila yon para hindi makilala. Ganon din sa firearm. Binubura nila o kaya pinapalitan nila yung serial number. Lalo na pag ginamit sa o gagamitin pa lang sa crime. Di ba? So that is unlawful. So may mga karampatang parusa yung mga nagtatamper ng mga serial numbers ng firearm. So lahat ng firearm, lalo na sa mga license, dapat mayroon silang serial number. Kasi doon, pag linagyan o niregister mo yan o nilagyan mo ng lisensya, yun, lahat ng information about sa firearm na yan ay kinukuha. Yung mga serial number, yung mga groups niya, yan, yung example, yung pag may tawag doon yung ipuputok, yan, yung slug, kinukuha yan. Yung bullet niya kinukuha para just in case na nagamit yun sa crime, yan, isang ebidensya yon na nagamit sa crime. So sa groups, yan yung dumaan na bala doon. Kung ano yung example, yung gas-gas ng bala, yung slug o yung bullet, doon nila tinitignan. Di ba? So kaya it is unlawful na itatamper natin yung ano natin, yung serial number ng mga baril natin. Nangyayari lang naman yung mga yung mga nakaw o kaya yung mga unregistered na na baril, 'di ba? So meron siyang penalty of 4 years imprisonment kapag nahuli na nagtatamper ng serial number ng baril. Yan. Sa Section 5 naman, the term in unlicensed firearm includes firearm with expired license. Yan, kung may lisensya nga noon pero nag-expire na, that is considered as unlicensed o kaya nung tawag doon sa pagsasakyan, yung walang walang papeles, kumbaga. Parang yung yung firearm mo, kahit na mayroon kang hinahawakan na papel, parang wala na 'yon. Okay? Letter B, use of licensed firearm in the commission of a crime. Yan. Commission of a crime. Kapag nag-commit ka ng crime, kahit na lalo na kapag yun nga unlicensed na mismo, talagang talagang totally na unlicensed. Pero ang pagkakaintindi ko naman, kahit na may lisensya siya, kung nag-commit ka ng crime using your firearm, yan, kahit na yun, a licensed firearm in the commission of a crime, yan, kahit na may lisensya, kung nag-commit ka ng crime, that is considered as unlicensed. Unless siguro na yung ginawa mo is self-defense. Yan. Pero pag crime, kumbaga mawawalan ng visa yung registration ng baril mo. Mawawalan ng saysay pag ginamit mo yun sa crime. Diba? Dito naman sa Executive Order number 164, yan. Section 2, every body bona fide gun club member may apply for the issuance of license to possess shooting units up to but not to exceed .45 caliber for sidearm and 5.56 and 7.62 for semi-automatic competition rifles. Yan, yung 5.56 is yung yung M16. Provided that no gun club member shall possess at any one time more than 15 units sidearm and 6 units rifle and 5,000 rounds of ammunition. So kapag if you are the owner, yan, pag owner ka ng ng gun club, yan, every bona fide gun club member or member ka ng gun club, ang pwede mo lang gamitin ay pwedeng issue sa iyo na license ay hanggang sa .45 or 45 caliber lang siya for the sidearm and 5.56 rifle and 7.62 caliber, yan, for semi-automatic competition rifles. Yan. Pero hindi ka pwedeng mag-possess ng more than 15 unit sidearm. Yan. and 6 units rifle at saka 5,000 rounds of ammunition. And provided further that fully automatic model shall not be so licensed. Kaya yung mga fully automatic na rifle ay hindi pwedeng ma-issuean ng lisensya. Yan. That is according to Executive Order number 164, Section 2. And Executive Order number 850, Section 2, all citizens of the Philippines who were issued license to possess firearm will be permanently disqualified from possessing firearm of any type and or caliber after losing a registered firearm for the third time. Okay, kahit na sinong citizen ng Pilipinas na may lisensya, yan, may baril na may lisensya, ay madidisqualified yung possessing firearm niya, yung paghawak niya ng firearm kapag na wala niya yung firearm for the third time. Yan. Yun yung kahit na malakas ka siguro, kahit na malakas ka, siyempre di naman natin maiwasan yan yung anong tawag doon sa kumpare, no? Pare-pare tawag or body-body. Na kapag malakas ka, kahit na anong gawin mo, pwede mong pwede kang makapag-register ng firearm kahit na ilang beses. Kasi kung minsan kasi pag nawala natin yung firearm o hindi natin na-renew, kung minsan nagagamit na yan sa iba o ginagamit na ng iba. So, yan, medyo karapatan din natin na obligasyon din natin na ingatan yung mga licensed firearm natin. Okay, lalo na registered. So yan, pag ginamit yan ng iba, sino ang kawawa? Yung may-ari din. Di ba? So ingatan din natin yan. So according to Executive Order number 852. Section 2. The legal sources of firearm. Yan, legal sources of firearms. Licensed firearm dealer through purchase. Okay? So, yung mga dealers natin, yung Arms Corps, yung mga yung mga mabibigat na mga dealer ng firearm, no? Yung mga galing US, Israel, ayan, pero di lang yung Arms Corps lang yung yung kilala ko na na nagbebenta o dealer siya o supplier ng firearm. Okay? So licensed firearm dealer through purchase o kaya yung mga gun store, mga license, yan. O kaya registered licensed firearms holder through sale or transfer. And importation or purchase abroad of firearm and ammunition by individuals. So pag nag-import tayo o kaya mga mostly naman yung mga uniform personnel yung nag-import o nag-export ng mga firearm. Okay, yung mga example sa mga PNP, mga SAF, so may mga branches din yan. So kanya-kanyang yan, kung minsan kanya-kanyang department kung sino yung pwedeng mag-purchase ng mga supply nila, yung ammunition at saka firearm. Okay, kung minsan may kilala kasi ako na na pumupunta sa Israel na bumibili ng mga baril. Okay? Pero siya police. Okay? Nasa Philippine National Police kung saan pinapadala ng ahensya na yan, mag-purchase ng mga baril, mga gamit nila. Yan. So, yun ang ginagawa nila. So, pero pag yung siyempre pag nag-purchase ka, dapat yung registered at saka licensed din na supplier o kaya dealer uh, ng firearm. Okay? Dito sa atin sa Kalinga meron na din naman tayong mga gun store na tinatawag kung saan pwede silang magbenta uh, ng baril, pero limitado yung yung mga caliber na binebenta rin nila. Mostly mga lang, yung .45 or yung revolver, mga ganun lang. Okay? Yung mga explosive, kung minsan meron din sila yung grenade. Okay? So under licensed firearm holder through sale or transfer, firearms may only be physically delivered by the seller to the buyer only after the latter has secured the corresponding firearm license and permit to transport firearm. Kapag yung registered or licensed firearm dealer ay pwede lang siyang mag-deliver ng ng firearm physically yan to the buyer kapag na-secure na niya yung mga kailangan niyang mga papeles. Yan. Firearm license and permit to transport firearm. Yan. Under importation of purchase abroad of firearm and ammunition by individuals suspended by presidential order issued September 19, 1991. Okay, yung purchase or importation. Yan, importation or purchase abroad of firearm and ammunition by individuals. Unless yung other country like Israel o kaya China o magbibigay o mag-donate ng firearm. 'Di ba? Gaya ng nung sa may Marawi surge, 'di ba? Nag-donate ng China ng mga ng mga snipers, na mga baril, okay? Para gamitin ng mga sundalo. Okay? So that is under President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Okay? Yan. So, pero dito sa sa presidential order issued September 19, 1991, yan, importation or purchase abroad of firearm and ammunition by individuals, yan. Pag individuals, okay, yung mga private individuals, pwede, hindi pwede, okay, suspende. Pero yung mga tawag doon, yung mga uniform personnel, yun, kasi talagang ginagamit nila. Okay? Pero pag individual, kasi kung minsan hindi natin alam kung saan nila ginagamit yan. Kahit sabihin na natin may lisensya, pero tinatamper nila, yan, pinapalitan nila ng barrel. Yan, kasi bago nila bilhin yan, doon sa abroad, syempre nire-record din yan ng supplier kung ano yung mga information about sa isang baril na yon. Kaya tinetest din yan, may yung tinatawag na recovery box, yan, kinukuha yung slug or yung bullet para malaman kung ano yung style ng yung gas-gas ng bala, paglabas niya sa barrel, kasi yung grooves niya, yung land and grooves o yung rifling niya. Okay? Rifling, yan, nare-record din yan. Okay? So, license to possess firearm. We have the long certificate of registration or LCR issued to government agencies or offices, government-owned or controlled corporation for use of their officers or employees, excluding security guards. Yan. yung mga long certificate of registration. Yung short certificate of registration naman is issued to government officials or employees for firearm provided by their respective agencies or offices that are covered by a long certificate of registration. Yan. Pwedeng mag-issue ng ng sa mga government officials, yung SCR. Yan, sa mga at saka yung LCR na tinatawag, Long Certificate of Registration. Pag sinabi naman natin na regular license issued to civilians or private individuals for their private owned firearm and to corporation and security agencies for company-owned firearms for use by their security guards. Yan yung mga ini-issue sa mga sa mga security agency o yung mga corporations, private individuals, civilians. That is regular license. Yung tinatawag na RL. Pag sinabi naman natin na special permit issued to government official or employees for their private owned firearm. Okay, may mga lalo na yung mga matataas na officials, government officials, yan, mga sabihin na natin yung mga mayors, governors, congressmen, senators, mga yun, o kaya mga heads of offices, yan, pwede silang mag-secure ng mga ng mga permits, yan, special permits para sa mga firearm nila. Okay? Then revocation of firearm license. Okay, kailan ma-revocate? Mawawala. A firearm license shall be revoked under any of the following circumstances. Yan. Kumbaga mawawalan ng visa yung yung lisensya. Loss of firearm through negligence. Yan, pag wala kang tawag doon, yung hindi ka marunong kalimutan ko yung term nun. Hindi ka marunong hawak o mag-ingat. Okay? Hindi mo iniingatan yung yung firearm na hawak mo. Yan, kaya nawala. Okay? Carrying of firearm outside the residence without the appropriate permit. Yun nga, kahit na mayroon kang lisensya, pero yung lisensya mo lang naman ay yung sa residence mo lang. Okay? Yung residence, ibig sabihin sa bahay mo lang at saka yung opisina. Yun yung extension ng residence. Bahay at opisina, hindi yung sasakyan. Okay, bawal kapag nasa sasakyan. Okay? So walang yan. Pero pag may permit to carry ka, pwede. Carrying of firearm in prohibited places. Ano yung mga prohibited places? Like malls, yan, hospitals. Yan. Hindi naman kailangan na magdala ka ng ng firearm sa mga prohibited places, lalo na maraming tao at saka wala ka namang lisensya para dalhin doon. Yan, wala kang permit to carry. Conviction by competent court involving moral turpitude for any offense where the penalty carries an imprisonment of more than 6 months and a fine of at least 1,000 pesos. Yan. So yun yung mga revocation of firearm. Yan. Next is unauthorized loan of firearm to another person. Yun, yung ibigay mo yung yung baril, yung firearm mo sa ibang tao na hindi naman siya authorized na magdala o maghawak. Okay? Example, hindi niya pangalan yung lisensya. Pag binigay mo 'yon at ginamit niya sa iba o kahit na ginamit na pinutok na lalo na sa mga public places, mawawalan ka ng permit. And dismissal for cause from the service in the case of government official and or employees. And example, isa kang government official. Ngayon, meron kang license or permit to carry or permit to possess firearm. Pero kapag na-dismiss ka o natanggal ka sa trabaho, yan mawawala yung permit to possess firearm. Yan. Commission of a crime where the firearm is involved. Yan. Merong crime kung saan yung licensed firearm is involved. Yan, marirevocate yung lisensya. Next is number 2, upon revocation of the firearm license, the firearm and ammunition covered by such license shall be surrendered to the PNP FED. Yan, Philippine National Police Firearm and Explosive Division in case of Metro Manila residents. In the provinces, it shall be surrendered to the PNP regional or provincial director concerned, who shall forward the same to the PNP FED for proper disposition. Yan. Example, kapag meron kang kapag na-revocate na yung lisensya mo, yung permit to carry o kaya yung permit to possess firearm. Kapag nawalan na yung lisensya o ang tawagan, ay kailangan na yung baril na yun ay kailangan na ma-surrender sa Fire and Explosive Division ng PNP kapag nasa Metro Manila ka. Yan, pag residence ka ng Metro Manila, pero kapag dito naman sa probinsya, sa PNP regional or provincial director concerned. Yan. Doon natin i-surrender. Ngayon, kapag ganun din sa kapag yung baril mo ay hindi mo na nare-renew yung permit niya, yan may corresponding example yung taon, years para kung hindi mo ma-renew within that year, kailangan na i-surrender mo rin siya. Kaya hindi kailangan na, hindi dapat na kahit binili mo yan, kahit na baril mo yan, hindi dapat na wala kang karapatan na maghawak ng baril na walang lisensya. Okay? Pero ano ang nangyayari sa atin ngayon? Okay? Lalo na dito sa Cordillera o kaya sa Kalinga, sabihin na natin, marami yung mga may baril diyan. Okay? Na walang lisensya. Yun nga, mas gusto nga nila yung walang lisensya daw eh. Di ba? Number 3, upon the death of the legal disability of the firearm holder, it shall be the duty of the nearest relative, legal representative, or any person who shall knowingly come into possession of such firearm and ammunition to deliver the same to the PNP, FED, or the PNP regional or provincial director after securing the necessary transport permit. Such firearm and ammunition shall be retained pending the issuance of a license in accordance with the law. Okay, upon the death. Okay, pag namatay or disabled na yung firearm holder, dapat yung nearest relative or legal representative or any person who shall knowingly come into possession of such firearm and ammunition, yan, sila yung magdi-deliver o magdadala sa Fire and Explosive Division ng PNP o kaya sa regional or provincial director kapag nasa province after securing necessary transport permit. Yan. Hindi pwedeng basta na lang dalhin mo yan. Okay, dapat may permit din to transport yung baril na yon kapag yung may-ari ay namatay o kaya disabled na siya. Siyempre, sinong magagamit doon? Hindi naman pwedeng kahit sino. Okay, kumbaga pwedeng manahin yung baril, hindi pwede 'yon. Kapag namatay o disabled na yung may-ari, yung nakapangalan doon sa baril na yon, dapat i-surrender na rin. Okay? Yan yung mga may number 4 pala. It shall be the responsibility of the department head and or employer to report to the PNP if any case of loss of a firearm covered by a special permit, long certificate or of registration, short certificate of registration, long regular license, and or short regular license. Yan, kapag ikaw ay employer, it is your responsibility to report yan sa PNP FED kapag nawala yung firearm na kapangalan sa iyo. 'Di ba? Siyempre, automatic yan i-report mo. Kasi kapag hindi yan na-report at nagamit yung firearm na yon sa crime, ikaw mismo na may-ari o nakapangalan doon sa license ang makakasuhan o kaya medyo maimbestiga. Okay? Yan. So yun yung mga revocation of firearm license kapag yan nga medyo mga negligence na yung mga paggamit o paghawak ng mga firearm. Okay. Carrying and transport of firearm. Yan. Kailan ba natin pwedeng idalhin o i-transport yung firearm na yan? Transport permit, a one-time pass issued to individuals for the purpose of transporting unloaded firearm and ammunition from one location to another and back if necessary. An example, kahit sabihin na natin na nasa government o government official o kaya nasa uniform personnel tayo. Kapag transport mo yung yung baril o yung issue mo na baril, yan. Lalo na kapag mga long, kailangan din natin ng transport permit. Permit to transport firearm for gun club members. Yan, PPT. A written authority issued to PNP-FED accredited gun club members for the purpose of transporting unloaded firearm and ammunition from residence to accredited firing range and back. Yon. Example yon kapag mayroon kang firing range. Example. At yung baril na yon ay nandun o yung gagamitin na baril ay nandun sa bahay nyo at dadalhin sa firing range. Yon. Mayroon kang written authority yan issued to PNP-FED yan to transport firearm. Okay. Unloaded firearm. Hunting permits. Yan, yung mga naghahunting pala ay may mga permits din. Okay? Pero dito sa atin, wala yata. A written authority issued to individuals for purposes of transporting unloaded firearm and ammunition to hunt in legal hunting grounds. Yan. Dito sa atin kasi wala tayong hunting grounds, di ba? Wala naman tayong mga yung mga usa, mga wildlife na tinatawag. Kasi doon sa ibang sa ibang lugar o ibang country, meron silang season kung saan season para maghunting ng mga yung mga wildlife. Permits to carry firearms outside of residence. Yan. A written authority issued to individuals who are under actual threats or whose lives are in imminent danger due to the nature of their position, occupation, or calling to carry loaded firearm and ammunition outside of residence. Okay, pag meron kang threats, example, sabihin na natin na license yung baril mo, o meron kang threats, hindi pa rin pwede na magdala ka ng baril without permit, okay, to carry firearms. Kahit na meron kang threat. Dapat meron kang written authority issued yan. Written authority issued to individuals. Kapag, example, kapag isa kang government official, elected official, yan. Yung business, may business ka, okay? Yung mga broadcasters, yan, commentators, mga radio commentators, especially TV commentators. Sila yung mga yung mga kumbaga may mga threats sa buhay nila. Okay, so pwede silang kukuha ng permit to carry firearm, okay, outside of residence. Yun yung mga pwede nilang kunin. Kasi yun nga, meron silang threats, may banta sa buhay nila. Yan. So pwede silang magdala ng baril for their security, okay, defense. Duty detailed order. Yan, a written order issued by a superior officer to his subordinates, assigning them the performance of a specific task within or outside his official station that is part of their regular duties. Yan. So, yung mga private security. Mission order. A written directive issued by a competent authority to individuals who are under his supervision and control for the definite purpose or objective during special period and to such place or places therein mentioned. Okay, pag meron kang mission order, example, pag nasa nasa PNP o kaya sa tawag doon sa military. Yan, pag mag-undercover, mga ganon. So may mga mission order mga yan, dapat. Kasi kapag kahit na military ka naman, kung yung mga issue mo na ng mga baril, hindi naman dapat na dinadala yan kapag wala kang mission order. Di ba? Mga baril na kahit na sidearm yan o kaya rifle, hindi mo pwedeng dalhin yan kahit saan. Unless na meron kang sariling baril na meron kang permit to carry. Ganon yung patakaran. Diba? No mission order shall be issued to any civilian agent authorizing the carry firearm outside of residence by the same unless the individual is included in the regular plantilla of the government agency involved in law enforcement. Yan. So kahit na civilian agent ka, hindi ka pwedeng hahawak ng firearm outside the residence. Receiving regular compensation for the service he is rendering in the agency and involved in special law enforcement, police or intelligence project which specifically requires the use of firearm to ensure its accomplishment, like yung mga magpapanggap na yung undercover na tinatawag, yung papanggap na kasapi ng mga sindikato, yan dapat may mga baril din yan kasi mabigat yung mabigat yung trabaho nila. Okay? Kumbaga yung isang paa nila nasa hukay. Yan yung mga undercover, mga agent na yan. Then, manner of carrying firearms. Yan, yung mga the sidearm carried by a person in uniform shall be placed in the holster securely attached to the belt. Yan, hindi yung nilalagay na lang sa baywang yung baril. Okay, yung mga pistol natin, yung mga revolver. Person in uniform but without holster and those in civilian clothes who are authorized to carry their firearm outside the residence shall ensure that their firearm are concealed unless in actual use for legitimate purpose. Yan. Dapat yung mga uniform personnel na walang holster, without holster, and those civilians clothes, yan, who are authorized to carry their firearm outside residence shall ensure their firearms are kumbaga halos nakasil siya o kaya hindi pwedeng ilabas unless in actual use for legitimate purposes. Yan. Hindi ka pwedeng maglabas ng baril lalo na sa public kapag wala kang purpose. Even na yung baril na yun ay meron siyang permit to carry. Okay? The practice of flagrantly displaying a firearm or tucking it at the waist while in uniform or civilian clothes is prohibited. Yan yung ilalagay mo lang sa sa baywang mo, yan na nakikita. Yan. Dinidisplay mo siya. Hindi yun tama. That is prohibited. Only firearm specifically described in the permit shall be carried. Okay, kahit na mayroon kang permit to carry, kung hindi naman yung baril na yun ang nakalagay sa permit, wala ring silbi. Okay? Yung kung ano lang yung nakalagay sa permit, yun lang ang pwede mong dalhin. Na. And limitation and restriction to carry firearm. Yan. Those authorized to carry firearms shall not bring said firearm inside public drinking places, cabarets, public dance halls, and public amusement places, or while attending civic, political, or religious rallies and meetings. Yan. Yung mga authorized to carry firearm. Yan, hindi bawal na magdala sa mga public drinking places like mga cabaret, yan, public dance halls and public amusement places, yan. O kaya in general sa public. Okay? Lalo na sa mga inuman na mga mararaming tao, kaya lalo na sa mga political or religious rallies and meetings. Carrying of long firearm is prohibited in Metro Manila, chartered cities, provincial capitals, and other thickly populated areas or fiestas or other large gatherings except when called for in the performance of duty or accomplishment of mission. Okay, so yung mga police, yung mga PNP ay hindi sila pwedeng magdala ng mga long firearm, only side arms. Yan, mga pistols o kaya revolvers lang ang pwede nilang dalhin kapag nandun sila sa mga populated areas like fiestas, unless example kapag gabi magbabantay sila sa mga establishment, lalo na sa mga fiestas, festivals, may mga establishment na mga pinapatayo, mga tent. Yan. Kailangan din nila 'yon. Yung lalo sa paggabi. Yan. So, siyempre nagbabantay sila. So nasa ano din sila. Kailangan nila ng long firearm. So valid use of firearm in self-defense, yan, Article 11 of the Revised Penal Code state that any person acting in defense of his person or right do not incur any criminal liability under the following justifying circumstances. Ito yung ano natin, act of defense na tinatawag kapag ginamit mo yung firearm para i-depensa mo yung sarili mo. Unlawful aggression. Yan, kung may nanggulo, kumbaga. Reasonable necessity of the means employed to prevent or repel the unlawful aggression. Yan. Lack of sufficient provocation on the part of the person defending himself. Yan, pwede mong gamitin. Okay, so all three circumstances must exist. Kasi kung minsan kapag kahit na self-defense yung nangyari, nababaliktad yung pangyayari. Okay? Yan yung katotohanan kung minsan sa sa justice system natin. Okay? Nababaliktad yung pangyayari. Okay, so hanggang dito na lang yung discussion natin about sa tawag dito, Philippine laws on firearms ownership and possession. And so I hope na may nakuha kayo rito na information. Yan, nakatulong ito sa sa module nyo. Okay? At saka sa module natin may mga activities diyan na kailangan natin nasagutin. Okay, at yun yung responsibilidad din natin as student na gawin para doon tayo at kami rin responsibilidad din namin na bigyan kayo ng marka. Okay? Based sa ginawa nyo sa activity. Okay, so yan, maraming salamat at God bless. Okay.